Yes, people, this is your girl Aleisha Lee and welcome back to another episode of Aleisha Lee Reviews. Let's get straight into it, no long ting. This is Supacell, episode 5, Rodney. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, boy. We kicked this episode off right where we left off with our Supacell heroes in the same room, except Michael. Sorry, Michael. Taser is asking, where is Crazy? We can see that this is so tense. The situation is tense. Everybody is just frozen. And this is where Andre says, bun this. Why? Because Andre, he's got mouths to feed. He's ready to move off with the safe. And that is where Taser fires a shot. Now, Taser, what's wrong with you? Why? We see that this is the longest shot in history. It hits the safe, then tries to go and deflect towards Sabrina and Shah. Hell no. Sabrina uses her powers, which it then goes towards Rodney, and we know what Rodney's about. With a quick duckage, that bullet is not touching anybody. Rodney, he's up out of there with Spud in a second. Andre, he makes sure he flexes his muscles, bending that gun before he leaves in front of Sabrina and Shah. I know he was trying to impress Sabrina. We see you, Andre. We see you. As Sabrina and Shah make their exit, Andre makes his exit. We see the rest of the TB boys come, and Tuzi is looking at this gun like, what the hell? Because that gun is bent up. Taser lets the boys know that Crazy is not there, and that is where they head out. Imagine all of this and the man weren't there. Now we head over to the operation and we can see that there has been a stage 3 activation. On the screen, we can see the scenes. Now, remember, these people are seeing everything. So they've seen what's happened with Taser. They've seen what's happened outside of the club. They've seen what's happened with Michael and the Sixer boys. Now they're saying that the stage 3 activation shows that they've seen 4 of their targets come into contact. So for them, this is a serious deal. Now we are back at the Sickle Cell Centre with Michael and his mum, Tina, who clearly is still in pain. Now they have been calling the nurses and it seems like no one is coming. You can see the despair on Michael's face as he feels helpless. He wants to help his mum, but what can he do apart from call the nurses? They finally come in. He wants to stay by his mum's side, but all he can do is wait and let the nurses and doctors help his mum. Now we're at the hospital with Rodney and Spud. It is so sad to see Spud in this condition. Rodney, he's in despair because this is his best mate, and right now Spud is in a bad way. He even says to Spud, why did you go? Why did you go on your own? Yeah, I just really feel it for Rodney in this moment because that is his guy. This is where we see that Rodney and Sabrina see each other at the hospital. Rodney and Sabrina recognize each other. Rodney says he's not here to hurt her. He just wants to get some help for his friend, and if she could keep an eye out for him and look out for him, he would really appreciate it. Back at the operation, we see that they are working hard to try and identify all of the targets. They've only managed to identify one, which happens to be Rodney. They want surveillance on Rodney, hoping that he leads them to the others. We see Rodney has ended up at his mum's house and his mum seems very surprised to see him. When they sit down to have a chat, she mentions to him that he should have called or texted before arriving. Rodney wants to spend time with his mum, but she is too worried that Greg will be coming home soon. And that's where even Rodney's like, bun Greg, like, what about me and you? And that's where he expresses to her the situation that's happened with Spud. Now, she tries to give him a bit of, sympathy, but this mum, she does not care about Rodney. I'm so sorry. I think it's so out of order. Don't be having children that you're not going to be caring about, and then you want to go and start a new family, and because Greg don't like how dare you? We all know why Greg don't like Rodney. Rubbish mum. Rodney wants to spend time with his mum. He's going through a difficult time at the moment and he just needs a bit of support. His mum is too busy worried about Greg coming back home with the kids, and that is where Rodney's like, bun Greg, you know he's a racist. Yeah, we know he's a racist. And Rodney further proves his point because he says to his mum, how come he took Rachel but he didn't take me? The mum, she loves Greg and she wants to be with Greg, but I'm sorry, it is unacceptable. How dare you disregard your child for this man? A racist man at that. He says that he will pay his way, tell Greg that he'll be like a tenant, and his mum is adamant that he cannot stay. Ugh, disgusting. We see Rodney power back home, and I just felt so sorry for him in this moment. Imagine that. Your friend is in hospital. He's probably feeling guilty about that. Then you go to get support from your mum and she's a cow. Oh, yuck. Rodney, he starts trashing the place a bit just to release some frustration and anger. And I just feel it for him. But don't worry, Rodney, it's going to be okay. Next, we're back with Michael at the sickle cell centre. Michael sees that he's had a lot of missed calls and he tries to make a call to Dion. Michael leaves a message for Dion, giving her an update on mum, reassuring her that she is going to be okay. He also mentions that when he gets home that they need to talk and that he has to tell her something. Next, we see AJ is outside his dad's house knocking for him, and AJ takes this as his dad ignoring him, but we see Andre is sleeping. He's had a long, hard night work of robbery and he is tired, so he doesn't hear AJ call. Poor AJ thinking that his dad is ignoring him, but that isn't the case. Man is just tired. Next, we see Taser. He is on the estate, and that's when he gets a call from the one, the only, Crazy. Now, Crazy's like, you should know better than to take a shot and miss. Come on, if you're gonna do this, do it properly, innit? Because now this has just caused even more beef between the two. That is where Crazy says to Taser, if I was you, I'd go check on Nanny. Taser breezes to his house to go and check on his grandma, and that is where he uses his invisible powers to enter and can see that the place is in disarray and his grandma is on the floor. Now, this is a new realm of disrespect, yeah? How dare you trouble Taser's grandma? If you got beef with Taser, take it with Taser. Do not trouble grandma. How dare you? Crazy, disrespect. Taser immediately calls the ambulance for his grandma. Now we see that Sabrina is at work and she has a meeting with her managers about her performance and her progress so far. Now, obviously, they question her about what happened the other day, and she explains to them that she just had a lot going on and she knows that she shouldn't be bringing personal issues to work. But the thing is, they know how hard she works, they understand, and they know that this is just a one-off situation. Sabrina ends up getting a promotion. Yes! I was so happy in this moment because we know our girl has been working hard, going to work early, making sure that her patients are doing well, and this is a promotion that is well deserved. Go on, Sabrina. Now we are with Shah, and Shah is very busy. We see that Sabrina is trying to call her, but she cannot answer the call. Why? Because she's, with who? Why? Now, Shah, you just nearly lost your life yesterday, yeah? Going to this man's big house, big den, whatever we're calling it, the TrapDo. Shah says to Crazy that she was scared. She's glad that he wasn't there yesterday because she thinks they would have killed him. He doesn't seem too fazed or bothered by this because he lets her know that they ain't gonna be around for long. That's when we hear a car beeping outside, and it's the two ladies that Shah already questioned Crazy about. Charlene is not impressed. You've just done me and then you got these two outside my house. Am I a fool? Crazy lets her know that those are his business associates, and she's like, what business? Like, you know, he tries to say to her, move, you're messing up my money. Like, move, I need to go and make this money. Shah is clearly not having it, and that is where he strangles Shah. He even takes back the bussy Cartier. Yeah, I can't believe this. Shah is clearly livid. We see that Shah calls Sabrina, and before Sabrina can even drop the great news, Shah is letting her know what just happened with Craig. Obviously, Sabrina is going mad because she already warned Craig about this situation. Next minute, we see Charlene get a knife from the kitchen to go and do up Crazy. Now she's going crazy. Shah, don't do this. Now we're with Michael. He makes a call to Gabriel, giving him the update, and he lets him know that Sabrina wasn't interested. He also goes on to mention that he will be telling Dion everything. Now Gabriel questions this, asking him, are you sure you want to do this? But Michael thinks that this is the right thing to do. We're back at the restaurant and Dion is here to speak to Mrs. Johnson. She lets her know that she's not here in any official capacity, and she asks straight up, did Jasmine have a power? Now this is where Mrs. Johnson perks up and Dion lets her know that her fiance has a power too. Mrs. Johnson, obviously feeling much more comfortable about speaking to Dion, lets her know that they took her. We then see Mr. Johnson come out and he locks up shop because they need to have a serious conversation. He continues to tell Dion what he knows and lets her know that he spoke to them once and they let him know if he informs the authorities or the police, they will kill Jasmine. This lets us know that it's an operation that is not working with these authorities. They're probably above them. Mr. Johnson goes on to say that he doesn't want the social workers or police coming around. Now they're trying to start coming around because a police report was filed. Dion lets them know that that's not something they done, and Mrs. Johnson confesses that she was the one that filed the police report. Dion asks them, why did they take her? Who's taken her? Where is she? That's where Mr. Johnson lets her know that one day Jasmine healed his sickle cell. This is Jasmine's power. She has the ability to heal. The conversation is cut short as Dion leaves, but she leaves her number with Mrs. Johnson and tells her to get in touch if Jasmine calls. Next, we're with Michael, who is waiting for Dion to get home. Now, when they get home, he is ready to tell her everything, and she also has some updates to tell him, and she tries to let him know what she has found out about Jasmine, about the guy online that has powers as well. And Michael is clearly frustrated because he says to her, I told you to leave it alone. Dion's like, no, you didn't. Just as Michael is about to tell Dion everything, they get a knock at the door and it's Rodney. You know he's happy to hear from Rodney because Rodney done said to him, listen, yeah, I'm not helping you with nothing. But after what he witnessed yesterday, I think Rodney is now on Michael's side. Rodney starts to get into it and lets Michael know that he's got some good news. Michael kind of cuts him short. Rodney's like, do you want to do this in private? He knows Michael love a private. Now, they go to have that conversation, but Dion ends up hearing everything. Rodney lets Michael know that he saw all of these guys yesterday, everyone that Michael's looking for. He also mentions that Andre, he can take Michael to him right now. Michael, he's hesitant because he's like, you didn't want to help me. Like, why do you want to help me all of a sudden? That's where Rodney's like, do you want the help or not? Like, we got to go right now. Michael was just about to let Dion know everything, but this has taken priority. He's been looking for these people and now Rodney's come to tell him that he can take him to one of them right now. You know Michael ain't gonna pass up that opportunity. We also get a clip that shows that the operation seems to have identified Michael because his image is shown next to Rodney's. Now we see that Taser has left the hospital after the incident with his grandma. Taser and the man them are discussing everything that's happening and what their next moves are now that they know that crazy is really, really crazy. Just then, Tuesday sees Veronica and that is where the man them go to confront her about her setting them up with the Sixer boys. Taser, he takes his frustration, anger, everything out on Veronica. It was shocking. Even his own man them had to tell him to stop because what are you doing, Taze? I know the girl set you up. I know she's a mad thing, but bruh, hold it, hold it. Now we're with Michael and Rodney. They are waiting outside of Andre's old workplace. Just then they see John come out and Rodney recognizes him as being Andre's friend. Michael politely asks John if he knows Andre. He denies all allegations. That's when Rodney steps in and gives a full description of Andre. Again, John denies all allegations. That is where Rodney lets him know, I know you're lying, and he gives him the power move. We see Rodney's eyes light up. John, still hesitant, he says, listen, I'll take your number. That's when Michael's eyes activate too. He see what Rodney just done. He's gonna use that tactic too. Michael just lit up his eyes and said, put the number in the phone. Michael tries to call Andre, but we know that man is sleeping. So they are insistent on his address, but you have to look at it from John's point of view. He don't know these guys from Adam. Like, you know, they might be the ones that's trying to set up Andre. So he is being cautious, but he promises them that he will get Andre to give them a call. Sabrina arrives home looking for Shah, but she's not at home. She tries to call her, and that's when we see that her phone is ringing on the roadside. iPhone just left on the roadside. Please, where is Shah? She leaves her a message telling her not to do anything stupid and to give her a call back. But we know that Shah is not going to receive that message. Now we're back with the man them and we see that they are posted up outside a house. That house happens to belong to Crazy's mum. Tuesday and Dots are firmly on the line of, no, we're not going to be doing this to people's mums. Screamer, on the other hand, he's ready for action. Anything Taser's on, he's on. But this is where they have a conversation because they say that this isn't right. And especially as Taser's just done that to Veronica, no, we can't be doing this to the women. No, it's not on. Tuesday makes it clear that he's not going to be participating. Dots makes it clear he ain't going to be participating either. And Screamer's like, so what? It's okay to do it to grandmas, yeah? And this is where Tuesday makes the point that we're not like Crazy. We're not as messed up as him. Taser, he's not trying to hear all that. He says we wait. Michael and Rodney are on the estate to look out and wait for Taser. Now, Rodney, he's not really impressed with Michael's plan. He just lets Rodney know, what's your plan? Rodney's like, all right, calm down, Mike, calm down. You know, he hasn't told him the reasons why he's so determined on getting everyone together. And I think in this moment, this is where they both see common ground and they're doing this for people that they love. We also see here that the agents, the operation, they can see these guys right now. The agents are even considering capturing these two now, but they're instructed to wait. Rodney now fully understands why Michael has been so determined. Just then we see that Andre is calling Michael back. And he's like, you know, I heard you was looking for me. Michael says to him, I will explain everything. Let's meet up. John, clearly concerned for his friend, says to him, you know what? This might be a setup. But Andre lets him know even if it is, he's ready to take them on. That is where John says, you know, you ain't even opened the safe. And when we go to open the safe, Andre gives it one punch. But we see the safe is empty. When I say empty. We now see Dion get a message from Mr. Johnson. She goes down to the restaurant to talk to him about Jasmine. Mr. Johnson lets Dion know that he does know where Jasmine is. Now, the reason why he didn't tell his wife is because he didn't want to get her hopes up, but he begs and pleads with Dion to please help him bring his daughter back. Now we're back with Taser and the man them. It's now nighttime. They're still outside this woman's house, poor woman, to the point she actually ends up calling the police. They can see her from the window and next minute we hear sirens. The guys start to make a move, but that is where they are stopped by the police. Taser puts his powers to use, telling all of the guys to give them their weapons so that he can make them disappear. Now the problem is that Taser, he took all their weapons, but he didn't take the food. Screamer did not do a very good job of hiding it. The guys, they get taken away, leaving Taser alone once again. Michael and Rodney are waiting for Andre to arrive. That is where we see that Andre is actually on his way to them. But just as he is on his way, out of nowhere, a hooded guy attacks Andre. Now, they are going back and forth. Andre is getting some licks in, but this guy just seems to overpower him. Just as Andre is trying to rebuild his strength, we see from nowhere that a portal is opened and one of the hooded guys sends an electric charge to the back of Andre, just taking him out. This is absolutely terrible. Michael and Rodney are still waiting for Andre, who hasn't shown. They call John to find out what's going on with Andre, and that's where John lets them know that he only lives 5 minutes away and he left about an hour ago. Clearly something is wrong. We then go to Sabrina, who is desperately looking for Shah. She's on the phone to people trying to find out information and find out where her sister is. That's when we see Michael and Rodney show up at Sabrina's trying to figure everything out. They let her know that Andre was meant to meet them, but he hasn't arrived, so they are guessing that he has been taken. Rodney goes on to explain to Sabrina that the us are the others that were at the den yesterday with the yellow eyes. Andre is one of them, and she asks straight away, where's that kid with the gun? She's talking about Taser. That is where we see that Taser, he's about to get taken. Taser can sense that someone is behind him, and as he turns around, he is blown away into the phone box. He turns invisible. However, this hooded person has vision that enables them to see Taser, whether he's invisible or not. The hooded one is dragging Taser, getting ready to transport him. That's where we see that Taser wakes up and you just see, whoop. Yes, he sliced the hooded, letting them know he is not one to play with. That is where we see another hooded comes out of the portal, getting ready to throw some electric heat on Taser. Just as the hooded is about to throw this electricity on Taser, out of nowhere, we see it just whoop. Yes, Sabrina, Michael and Rodney have now entered the chat to save Taser. Come on. And that is where the episode ends. Oh my, what are they trying to do to us? This was jam-packed. We gotta give it a 10 out of 10 again. I don't care. We gotta give it a 10 out of 10 again. 10 whys out of 10. This episode is really setting us up for the finale. We can see that everyone is starting to come together. The brains are braining. Everyone is starting to put their stuff aside to come together for the bigger goal, and it's only going to get even more peak now that we see how serious these hooded are moving. They just have no regard, they do not care, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to get these guys back into that portal. Poor Andre didn't have a chance. And if you notice, I'm not too sure, maybe I might be reaching, but it seems like these people or this portal, they might have a way to kind of numb your powers a little bit, because Andre, he was trying, or it might have been that he got flung around a bit and he couldn't focus on getting his strength, but yeah, he didn't have a chance. What are we gonna do? What is going to happen next? I cannot wait for the final episode of Supacell. This has been episode 5. Rodney, what an episode. Boy, let me know your thoughts down below. We've only got one episode left. Let me know what you thought of this episode and how many whys would you give this episode out of 10? Boy, magnificent. I don't care. I'm sorry. 10 out of 10, mate. 10 out of 10. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when the next episode, the final episode of season 1, Supacell, will be up. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when that is up. Yo, people, I need to go and have a break. I need to sit down. That was a lot. Make sure you are subscribed and I will catch you in the next Supacell review. Jeez, don't know why.